Good afternoon, and welcome to another chaotic version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your charismatic and choleric host, Voice of Doom. Hello. Okay, I'm back, and I've come to a decision that is the exact opposite of the decision I made a week ago. I am not going to give up, and I'm not going to stop doing diatribes. And I don't care if my comments go into the ether, and I don't care if no one subscribes. And I don't care if anyone listens, because I have a few people out there that actually do. So as long as there's one or two, I will keep going, because I like listening to myself and I like looking at myself. And so I will keep on doing diatribes and watching me. Okay, first of all, I will apologize, because when I heard about my mentor dying, I did a diatribe, and I posted it this morning, and it wasn't well planned, because there was no plan. And I wanted Max to say a few words, and he's usually 3 sheets to the wind by midnight. But I just wanted him to say something anyway, so his delivery is cringe, and that's just the way it is. But he is my source of hope, because most of my life has been pretty good. And, aside from calamities and disasters and catastrophes and death and being scared for my children's safety, I've had it pretty good. So if I have a child who is somewhat behind socially and cognitively to a certain extent, then I will hope for his improvement. I understand now the prodigal son parable in the Bible much better, because if you have 2 sons and one is always doing good and one is kind of footloose and fancy free, then when the wild one comes back, you celebrate. And that's what I'm hoping for, but I just wanted to kind of put in an apology for the diatribe, because I lost control of it. And I want to address the obvious thing that I know that Max is an alcoholic, and yet I'm sitting there with an open bottle of Fireball sitting there. And whether it be right or wrong, I make no apologies. I have my problems too. But it may seem inappropriate. And he's going to drink anyway, so I'm not going to punish myself over that. But let's get back to the issues at hand. I had a title. I don't know if the content will fit the title, but I like the title. Everyone's fed up, so let's starve them. It's kind of a play on words, because I'm hearing all over the news that we're all fed up. Everyone's fed up with the cities. Everyone's fed up with crime. Everyone's fed up with corruption. We're all fed up with the Congress. We're fed up with the Petri dish administration. And when you're fed up, then you don't have to eat anymore. Maybe you should go on a crash diet. Maybe you should go on a 40-day fast and starve. So let's talk about fed up. The couple things going on. The truth will out sooner or later. You can watch the madness unfold. You can watch generations go absolutely mad. Say you're fed up with it. You can say, why are these things happening? Why do we have a wide open border when we're on the brink of Armageddon and there's terrorists sneaking in everywhere, and yet they continue to keep the border wide open. 7,000 more people on the way, walking all the way, and they'll look fresh as a daisy once they get to the border. Somehow they managed to do that. People fed up with making threats that you're going to impeach certain people, and it never happens. They put in a vote to impeach Mayorkas, and 8 goppers voted with the D's, saying no, we don't want him impeached. And I didn't go into the details of why they would do such a thing, but they would probably say something to the effect of procedural errors, or we don't like this, or you're piggybacking this onto this, or we don't like the way you're doing it, so we're going to vote no. Bottom line is there's moles within the molehill. There's goppers who pretend to be goppers. I think they're called rhinos, but they really are voting with the devils. So don't think just because you have an R next to your name that you're trustworthy. Oh, we're independent thinkers. We don't do like the D's. We have our own opinions. We're not a group mentality herd. Well, when you have something as obvious as a person who's obviously a golem, obviously a ghoul, obviously an unearthly being running the Department of Homeland Security, with a wide open border, when we have adversaries everywhere, and they've already come into this country, and they can pick and choose what they want to do. They can destroy a power plant over here. They can poison a reservoir over here. They can burn down a freeway over here. They can cause a derailment over here. They can do it and get away with it without anyone even knowing it's them. Who knows what the hell they're doing? So, the goppers that voted against Mayorkas being ousted unceremoniously are traitors, and they are in league with Satan, and they will suffer the karmic retribution for that. But just found that rather disconcerting, and it really doesn't matter anymore. I've talked to a few people, and I mentioned it, and they're like, well, Petrie would just name someone just as bad to replace him. Better the devil we know. But he's creepy. Anyway, issue 2. Our overlord came to the mainland United States, to the great city by the bay, last week, to have a trade summit. Now, just a couple of things, as people have already mentioned. They had to do some house cleaning to make it look good for Xi. I've already talked about this. Everybody's talked about it. And now they say it's patently obvious that they could clean up when they want to, but they only choose to do so when company's coming over. So sarcasm everywhere, very clumsy. You know, these people getting paid lots of money to make quips. But I was talking to that with another customer yesterday, and I was like, we had the same question. What happened to the homeless people? It's one thing to spray down a subway. It's another thing to scrub the sidewalks a bit. But they scrubbed away the homeless people, which were encamping and walking around like zombies, which is hard to watch when they show footage of the inner cities and outer cities and all of the cities with zombies laying around and slouching around, and it's a pre-apocalyptic nightmare. It's a dystopia. and people just see it and they don't really know what's really happening. But what did they do with the homeless? I did a little research. Can't find much. See a lot of footage of, the power washing and before and after pictures, but it turns out the homeless were herded. They were pushed and guided and herded to other parts of the city temporarily, so that the Tenderloin and other high-end districts, areas of SF, could be pristine for our beloved leader. And so what does Petri Dish do? Besides not make any sense as usual and mumble and stumble, say a bunch of nothing, but people expect certain things. The fentanyl crisis. So Petri Dish was good about that. He's like, Mr. President, boss, we will lift sanctions off your country if you agree to not ship more fentanyl to United States. That's our agreement. Now, what's Happiness G supposed to say to that? No, I will not stop shipping fentanyl. I'm going to keep doing it. Sanction me all you want. Or he could say, okay, yes, I will stop shipping fentanyl, and you lift the sanctions. So, say one or the other. When did you stop beating your wife? Petrie's hopeless, and he may be reelected, depending on how things go. But that just seemed like an awkward way to negotiate. So I'm sure that Xi, being much smarter than our current, whatever the hell he is, probably said, okay, I'm not admitting one way or the other, but I'll work to put a stop to it. And then Petrie just said, okay, I'm lifting the sanctions. Give me the phone. Lift the sanctions. It'll be like he'll lift the sanctions first and then wait and see if the fentanyl keeps coming. So he does everything right, as usual. And I don't have anything more to say. Not a whole lot's happening. Gaza continues to be leveled. Hospitals, the infrastructure is falling apart because everybody in military age in Ukraine are now vanquished, and so they have to conscript the older generation, just like Schicklgruber did in 1945. And what else is going on? My kid is going to Kuwait on Tuesday. He called me. Just a little inside baseball. When they say we have the greatest military in the world, that means everybody else must be real bad. Because he can't get the simplest things done in that organization. And if the military were a high school, I would be at the principal's office bitching. Because he has to leave in 2 days, and they won't help him to do stuff with his belongings or his car. So he's just got to scramble around and deal with that. And, the sergeants pass it on up and say, ask your, lieutenant, and ask the captain. He has to go all the way up to the chief of staff, who doesn't know anything, to figure out what to do with his stuff. I guess he told me, well, keep your stuff in your room, and now we'll lock it. Like they just have apartments just on the bases, little cells, whatever they live in, and they're going to lock it for 6 months while he's overseas. So none of it makes sense. I don't think the military has the slightest idea what they're doing. They seem very inefficient, negligent, and clueless. Because Benjamin has to do everything himself. And if it was up to him, he'd just take over the whole damn place. Rank be damned. But he knows he can't do that. But I'll leave it there. Just wanted to get one in. I'm going to keep doing diatribes, not every single day, no. But as things warrant, I will make my comments in my own inimitable fashion. So, have a good day, and thanks for everything. And if you do make comments, please check back to see if that comment was posted, because still having trouble with that, but I'm also not getting any more subscribers, even though people say they will. So I don't know what's happening there either, but I don't care. YouTube is nothing, except I do thank them for putting me on at all. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.